Welcome back. We've got Dr. Umar Ardo, former governorship aspirant in Adamawa State under the platform of the PDP, here with us this morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
And focusing on this quest for nationhood, what do we need to do to get it right? Having heard from Prof that leadership seem to have missed that particular chance that we had to fix it. In your perspective, what should we be doing now?
This is a very difficult question. Yes, we have missed it, but I don't think it is our fault. Because when you look at countries all over the world, there are two sets of countries. One, there are colonized countries, and two, there are colonizing countries. Where you have a colonized country, with the exception of a settled colony, virtually they have run a unitary system of government, even if they claim to be running a federal system of government. So when we are talking about restructuring in Nigeria, which is the vogue today, everybody is saying, let us restructure. If we restructure, we will get it right, and so on and so forth. Yeah, restructuring has taken a life of its own. We cannot run away from it. It has to be addressed. However, it is not new. We have always been restructuring. Nigeria is an amalgam of four different units.
Okay. Let me just follow up on an issue you highlighted before you come to this 4 units, so you don't lose your train of thought on that one. When you say colonized countries and colonizing countries, they've always run a unitary system, whichever way you look at it.
Yes.
I need more, if you could shed some light. Are you talking about democracies across the world, including, say, even the US, for instance?
Yeah. Well, I said colonized countries, almost all colonized countries adopt unitary system, except where the colonies are settled colonies. For example, in the United States, it's a settled colony. It is a group of people that came from the colonizing country and they settle in that.
So is that a unitary system?
No. So that is the exception I have given. So, but where you have a non-settled colony, virtually they all run unitary system of government, even if they claim to be running a federal system of government.
Is that a sort of way of perhaps endorsing our current circumstance or situation now, where some say it's a federal system on paper, but in practice it's unitary?
Yes, and it is not just in Nigeria, it's across all colonized countries with the exception of settled colonies. The reason is this. The authority in a unitary system comes from the top and goes down, while in a federal system, it is bottom up. In a colonized country, you've been subjected to a foreign authority, and that foreign authority takes the decision, and then this decision runs down, to the grassroots. But where you have a colonizing country, the communities have already existed. They are already on the ground, and they make their laws. And for them to federate, they now go into an alliance, agree with another community, agree with another community, agree with another community, and then form a federal system, which puts it that everybody, every community has its own laws, has its own rules, has its own norms, has its own way of doing things, but they now agree to, I know how you do your things, you know how I do my things, and then we agree, how do we unite? This is how we unite, and these are the things that bind us.
But in our own case, is this the view of impression or the intention of our founding fathers? Because this is not what we had at the time.
Our founding fathers themselves were being put, under an external authority. Yes, if we say we have 3 regions, for example. Now, that takes me back, to the 4, units that form. That is the colony of Lagos, the Southern Protectorate, Northern Protectorate, and the Trust Territories. These are the 4 units that have been put together by the British colonial administration to form what we call Nigeria. So it is these units that we'll be restructuring. We restructure them into regions and more regions, into provinces and more provinces, into states and more states, into local governments and more local governments. We said, okay, there's a devolution of authority and resources. Henceforth, the traditional rulers will hold sway here. No, then we restructure. No, traditional rulers will not hold sway. We change it. And this is what we've been doing.
Are you living out the fundamental change that happened when we suspended the constitution and then came up with this unitary system?
Well, that is under the Iransi regime. You see, whether it is military, whether it is civilian administration, all of them operate under the same base.
No, but circumstances were completely different. No. Because why are people clamoring that what we had before the military interregnum was better? Yeah,
it was. I agree. But it is not our making. It was what was given to us.
But we worked with it.
Yeah, we worked with it. But when we took over, what did we say? We said, no, it's not working well.
Is it we or the military?
Well, the military and us, we are all Nigerians.
No, but people say, no, when you had the military regime, you can't say that clearly is not democratic. And that's why there's this clamor today.
I want us to distinguish democracy with civilian rule. There are 2 things. Yeah, every civilian rule claims to be democratic, but not every, every democratic is a civilian rule, but not every civilian rule is democracy. So let us try to distinguish these things very clearly. Just because, we say we are going for an election and so on and so forth, we go to elections, except if these elections are done in accordance to the rules, in accordance to the provision of the law, and is being enforced, then you call it democracy. When the people at the grassroots, take the decision, and that decision stands wherever it goes.
Is that what is obtainable today?
It is not. It has never been.
The courts notwithstanding their decisions?
Courts?
The decisions that the courts have handed where they've been challenged notwithstanding?
I don't know about, I don't understand your question, please. If you can.
What I'm saying is, you seem to say, no, what we have is not the ideal case that you've described. And I'm saying, in the cases where there's been grounds and people have challenged it in court, are you saying that the verdicts or decisions of those courts do not also represent what we democratically represent? If you count Nigerians that have been to court on issues like that, if I don't come number 1, I will come number 2. If I don't come number 2, I will come number 3. I have been to 10 courts, 4 at the High Court level, 3 at the Court of Appeal level, and 3 at the Supreme Court level. As it is now, I'm writing a book, which I title Court and Politics in Nigeria, chronicling my experience in the Nigerian theater. Now, from my experience, the courts will run away from issues that are heavily political.